Welcome to Urban Homestead Radio, preserving a homegrown way of life and inspiring others to bring the revolution home.
Let's go down to the Urban Homestead, Pasadena by the freeway, right down there.
Hi homesteaders, I'm your host Anais Dervaes from the Urban Homestead in Pasadena. I want to say happy summer to everyone. Hope everyone is safe and well, enjoying a wonderful summer, and hope your gardens are full of bounty and you have friends and family surrounding you. So today we're going to mix things up a bit. I am going to turn the mic over to one of our interns, Sanjay. And we're sort of semi outside, so I hope you can hear the birds singing as well. So as our recording goes along, you'll never know what, like I said, you'll hear from the homestead. But I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'm going to turn the mic over to Sanjay.
Well, thank you. This is I'm finally the host of a podcast. Bucket list item 147 checked off the list. Thank you very much.
Which we don't have sound effects.
No,
sorry.
but this was a great idea because you are always doing the hosting and the ask questioning, and we don't get to hear from you. And you're a very unique historical person at this home, obviously, and really in Pasadena, if you really think about it. You're a celebrity to a degree, though you may not think of yourself as one. So I thought I'd keep this one fun, light, and short, and just came up with some...
It's like my memoir, fun, light, and short.
Came up with some questions that might spark some funny stories that you can tell. Okay. So we'll kind of just go through them here.
Okay, I have to warn you, I did not cheat. You have not shown me your questions.
Correct.
This is all blind. I'm going in this trusting you and blind.
Going blind. Okay, here we go. This is gonna be fun. All right, start with an easy one. What is your favorite chicken of all time and why?
Oh, so one of the chickens we ate. I would say, oh wow, okay. Maybe the one that I enjoyed the most was Adele, because she was a black cochin. She had this, if everybody knows what a cochin is, she just was big and beautiful, and she had this awesome fluffy butt with the fluffy legs, and so from the backside she just looked like she had these just petticoats on, and she was gorgeous. And so when the kids came over for their lessons or school tour, we would bring out the chicken and we would say hello to Adele. And that, of course,
was she a singer too?
No. She kind of, she was kind of quiet, but she did do her call. Not as loud as Frida. Frida has her own operetta in the morning, so I don't think she compete with that. But the kids got a kick out of that because they were like, "Hello, it's me," that sort of thing. So,
but Adele's in heaven now.
Adele's in chicken heaven. So yeah.
Cool. How about this one? What's the best jam that you believe you make? The best jam.
I believe the peach jalapeno one is a surprise because it's something that's unexpected. It's that sweet, savory thing going down. And when I brought it out one summer, it must have been 10, 15 years ago, we had gone to the Griffith Observatory, and I packed a little picnic basket, and I packed my homemade peach jalapeno jam, and I had crackers and cream cheese, and I served it out, and people literally lost it. They were just like, what is this jam? And on and on and on, and they remembered it. And so I think that's my favorite jam to make, just because of the surprise.
It's like you'd never think that those two things would go together. So that's pretty awesome. Well, please make some more. Okay. We'll keep it in the kitchen. It's kind of like Jeopardy. Kitchen for 400, please. Have you ever had a funny accident in the kitchen? Is a story possibly here, fire or explosion or something funny that happened in the kitchen over the years?
Funny. So, I've messed up. I think sometimes maybe I mess up on a recipe, and that challenges me. Either I added sugar or something. It's I think maybe that I think my kombucha debacle or kombucha explosion, I think that tops all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Have you ever had a pressure cooker explode on you?
No, I have not. That scares me.
That happened to me as a kid.
No, I don't want it. So it was the kombucha. We were sitting watching TV, and I had put them on the counter, and it was super hot and humid. And all of a sudden, we hear, explosions.
Yeah.
And I go in there, and it shattered. I had like glass plates on the wall, shattered that. So. Yeah, that scared me. So I that wasn't fun, but it was very exciting for the family because they watched me contain my kombucha, and I had a helmet, and I was
nice.
I've been that's their we call it blackmail material story for.
What's your favorite flower that you grow here?
I would say. Okay, flowers. That's like asking. I don't know. I guess I'm particular to the rose. We have a really lovely red rose. When we moved into our 1917 house, there was roses there. And coming from Florida, as a child, there was hardly any roses that I remember. And so when moving into the house, I was so thrilled we had roses, and there was one red one, and I believe it was the gentleman that lived next door, he said he saw his wife and planted these roses. So they must have been over, a couple 100 years old. Anyhow, I think it was called Abraham Lincoln, and it smelled wonderful. And so I think those red roses that smell and I like cooking with them and using them in culinary and just smelling them. I think the rose.
Awesome. All right, switching topics. What TV shows are you watching these days?
Okay. Whew. All right. So I just finished. I'm very eclectic. So I just finished. I watch a lot of Netflix just to, like I said, chill literally, relax my brain because it's just sometimes gets so busy.
Homesteads are allowed to have TVs too.
Yes, we do. I like my Netflix, and I just finished a couple things. I kind of watched a bunch of things. So Offspring on Netflix. Amazon was The Wilds, I believe it was called. It was about some girls that were stranded on an island. And I just finished Sweet Tooth, which was quite interesting. I liked it more than I thought I was going to do. So, and then anything Masterpiece Theater was all creatures great and small. So very eclectic, just a little bit.
Well, I don't watch any TV, and I have never heard of any of those, but I'm sure some of the listeners have. So awesome. Do you follow sports at all?
Not really. I used to. My dad was, and my grandfather were big sports fans, and Sunday was reserved to watch football and whatnot. I was a fan of football when I was young. I mean, Joe Montana, Jerry Rice, and all that. There were, and Michael Jordan. I don't know. They were just, for me, really classy athletes. And then I've sort of. Sports changed, and I've never sort of gotten back into it. I mean, I do pay attention. I know the Dodgers and the Lakers won. So
there you go.
That was big. That's all I need to know.
All right.
And LA's happy, and I'm happy. So
all right, good. Let's see. Can you count how many pets you currently have?
Is that kid humans? No, I'm just joking.
No humans.
Has to have fur. Okay.
Let's see how we can do it. So there's 5 cats here.
Yeah. So I mean, we have eclectic thing. I mean, and some are just we bring in adopted some. So about 6 cats. We just adopted another cat. We found in the bushes on our walk. She was a little kitten, and then we have a couple ducks. And chickens.
30?
I would say, in all, about 30 animals.
30 animals?
Yeah.
There you go.
And the dog, 2 rescued dogs, and so.
Cool. Wow. I didn't think we'd get to 30, but it's probably about there.
Probably there.
I've met them all.
Okay.
They're all great. Do you have any nicknames that people don't know?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So you know Nisi, right?
Well, I know
of
yours,
course, because
yeah.
you're in my inner circle now.
Nisi,
so.
yeah.
So Nisi, I my name is Anais. People think it's like Anais like the spice. No, it's Anais.
Is there like a history to that name?
It's a French name, French origin.
Okay.
Of course, famous Anais was Anais Nin. I wasn't named.
Yeah.
Because of that, just my parents' heritage, Belgian French mixed with Guatemalan, and they love that name, and it means grace.
Grace. Cool.
So it has a rich history in that. So yes, it was hard to pronounce when I was a child. My friends could not pronounce my name, so it was Nisi. So to my friends and to my close friends and family, I am Nisi.
But Justin it makes it even short. Knee. No. Sometimes it just goes me.
He's like, that's a grunt.
Yeah. and you know what it is too.
I think families know they have their own language.
My dad used to whistle at us, and you could hear it from across the grocery store. Oh my gosh, it works. Whatever it works.
Yeah,
it works.
whatever.
Okay. What's a skill or talent that you have that we may not know about?
Oh, well, nothing that will get
other than
nothing
your
that will
hip-hop
get
dancing.
me.
No.
Yeah, I was gonna say nothing that will get me on TikTok. Let's see. So I guess that's nothing. No.
But you got a lot of skills. What's one we may not know about though?
I don't know. Do you know that I knit?
I didn't know.
Okay, so there you go.
There you go. Okay.
Okay.
How about running a homestead almost single-handedly? That's a great skill too.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Okay. Let's see. We got a couple more.
Whoa, okay.
What time do you wake up and go to bed?
Okay, so it's like 5-ish.
You hear that? You hear that, homesteaders?
5-ish. I'm like I start to I guess slowly wake up. By 5:30 I'm out of bed, because I have the cats, I have to throw the kitties off me very slowly. Some sleep like at my feet, some sleep at the crook of my my knees, some sleep actually on me, so I slowly get out of bed. And so by 5:30 I'm out because I'm literally outside to get the chickens out and get them their water and their feed. So when they get sun up to sundown, it's farm life, and that's pretty much it. I do sleep in-ish on weekends a little bit, but I still am up early. What I do is I get up, do my animal chores, and then I go back to bed.
That is commitment.
So
Yeah. That's 7 days a week. For the chickens. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, unless I get an automatic door, but I think they. I mean, it's a thing, but I kind of like to see them when they're anticipating and being let out. Yeah. It's sort of it's like our routine and it's a routine, and so it's all good.
Yeah. All right. Where do you go to relax?
So I enjoy nature, as I mean, just even to relax. Sometimes if I'm stressed, I'll go out and sit in the garden or just look at a beautiful flower. I try to walk. I enjoy walking. We're so close to the beautiful Arroyo Seco that just walking or past the beautiful houses on Prospect Avenue. If nobody knows Pasadena, I mean, we have such beautiful architecture and beautiful tree-lined streets. It's such a walkable city, and the Arroyo Seco makes it a gem. And so I enjoy walking, and then winding down with friends. Now with things opening up, hopefully catching some live music. I'm not one for crowds, but I do enjoy, getting out and about.
Yeah.
So,
and in Pasadena, we're blessed with a lot of opportunities like that with the outdoor concerts and whatnot.
And we have Huntington Gardens, we have Norton Simon, we have just so much things to choose from, and it's nice because it's like a walkable city. I mean, within 10-15 minutes we can be in Old Town and check out that scene, and in 10 minutes we can be in the mountains hiking to the waterfall. So
going along this theme, are you more of a desert, mountains, or ocean type of lady? If you were to choose one.
If I was to choose one, shoot, that's a hard one. I like all three. I have to choose one. I would say mountains, because I don't know. I like the ocean's beautiful, but the mountains have this thing. It's, there's with anything, even the ocean. It's a smell. It's like there's certain smells in our mountains. You smell the sage. You smell. There's certain smells, and that kind of either brings me back. I relive memories, relive times. It's very powerful. The smells, and I think mountains. I guess.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I find that the beach is a great place to relax, but it's a little minimalist for me. It's kind of like, I know that there's like a lot of diversity in the ocean, but like where the sand meets the ocean, it's just kind of just like sand and water. Mm-hmm. And these days, a lot of annoying beachgoers.
Yeah, well, but then you haven't been. Then you haven't been to Leo. Have you been to Leo?
I have been. Oh,
I've
been. You got to go out that far, but these days,
it's
these
hard.
days you gotta make the trek out there because it's just like
I mean, unfortunately, it's great that with
crazies.
COVID that everybody discovered the outdoors, but then it's super crowded now, and unfortunately, so but that just proves we need more outdoor space. People now found the outdoors, and it just goes to show that the outdoor space can't accommodate the millions of people here in LA, unfortunately. So
the mountains tend to give you more of a sense of discovery. Like there's like a journey that you go on, right? That you go on the walk, and you're like going forward, and then you see things and you smell things. It's more of a all sensory experience, I find.
Yeah.
Okay, so a few more kind of wrapping this section up here. When you were a kid or a teenager or whenever, did you ever think about having like what you were going to be when you grew up, and what did you dream about growing up be?
That's a good question. Somebody asked me that the other day. I love playing store. I don't know. I remember as a kid I loved playing store.
Oh, being like a shopkeeper?
Yeah, a shopkeeper. I loved playing store, and then we would put on shows as kids. I don't know, it's kind of weird. I never said I want to be. I think I just liked to be, and I liked everything. And so I remember wanting to bake at a young age, wanted to plant things at a young age. I think I just enjoyed a lot of things, and maybe that's the problem. I didn't really have a thing like I'm going to be a X, Y, or X this when I grow up. So, I don't really have a recollection of that. So that's a good question.
There you go. You were born into it.
I was born into it, maybe. Better or worse. I don't know. I mean, I think planting stuff. I'll tell people planting. We have green genes. I couldn't help it because, like I said, the Dervaes name. We had a nursery in Belgium. My grandfather planted. My great grandfather planted stuff. It's just in our blood. The Dervaes nursery, they bred roses, they bred, species. And so, like I said, from my very first memory was, I just wanted to plant stuff. Yeah. And
that's really interesting to think about that, like, for a lot of people growing up, their parents do have an expectation of them, whether it's like be a doctor or a lawyer or this or whatever. And you didn't have that pressure.
No.
Like it's interesting. Like your father just was like,
be whatever.
You're being what I want you to be.
Yeah.
Like I assume so. That's like that was all he expected for you was to continue on the homestead and you're doing what you're doing that.
I think all the memories was like thing was for me was like not a challenge, but it was like be a good person. It was always like he didn't like care necessarily what we did, just that we didn't hurt anybody or do stupid things or do something that's harmful or hurtful. You don't want to be whatever. So it just we kind of had that, but it's just the main challenge I guess as a kid was to be a good person, and being a kid that was kind of hard.
Awesome. Okay, this is like a kind of interesting one, and I'll preface it by saying that sometimes I feel like I'm on my like fourth life or whatever, like I look back and I'm like, wow, this is the same that was me, like I was with all those friends and I lived in this place and I was working at this place, and now like I had an office job, 9-to-5 office job at one point, wearing slacks and button-up shirt, and now look at me, shoveling compost and and playing in the garden,
hauling rocks
Yeah.
and logs in your little.
Exactly, hauling rocks and logs right around the
I
place.
was like, where did these logs come from? They were just like multiplying overnight
Well,
like rabbits. I'm
if you any locals in the area, come down to the hugel that we built down on Cypress Avenue.
Yes.
You won't miss it.
You won't miss it. It's beautiful.
Yeah, but if you could quantify like what version of the homestead do you think we're in?
Revision. I mean, it evolves every year. I mean, the evolution of life and yeah, it's ever evolving. I sometimes still feel like I'm 100 years old just because of the I don't know, grew up fast in that, certain circumstances in life.
Yeah.
I had to grow up faster than most. Body wise, yeah, sometimes I feel like 100 years old, but yeah, I was getting there. I was like, yeah, I can see the homestead doing more. So it's still evolving. It could still grow. It can still be better.
Yeah. And
I can still be better. I mean, I'm losing. It is, and if when anybody with homesteading, and it's like splitting plates, and you keep spinning them, and you lose some along the way, and you just have to come back and keep spinning. I've lost some of my favorite things I used to do. I would like to get those back, but I've gone up into doing the nonprofit work, and so then maybe like my kombucha making suffers or what have you, and so I'm a little I have to challenge. I'm a little I'm trying to find the balance on that. That's been one of my, I guess, stress points for the year, is just how to grow and keep your feet, how to grow in the other essence, the internet, the social, the nonprofit, the paperwork, and then keep grounded in the homestead and keep saying at the same time. So that's
right.
a challenge to me, and I bet you have heard me many times lament over some things. So
I think what I heard from you didn't directly answer the question.
Okay.
But what I heard was, it's not like you're on you're by no means on the second version of the homestead.
Oh, it's probably
there wasn't like version 1 with your dad, version 2 is without. No, there's every year, every 6 months there's an evolution.
It is.
There's people like, if I could pat myself on the back, I come in and I provide a lot of energy and resources, and I'm learning all the time, and I'm sure a lot of people have come in and out of this place and contributed along the way.
Yeah.
And so I'm sure you're on version 100 at least.
Oh, yeah, at least, yeah. I mean, and it kind of became a revelation for me that I literally had to think, wow, I'm second generation homesteader. Because it was like, I am a farmer, whatever. It's just like, no, I'm second gen. It's, this is, and so we've been at the homestead 30 some years, since 85. So every year, so that's a 35-year evolution. So 35 years of changes. Yeah. So that's a big chunk of
and
life.
Having to keep up with like just like the change in society.
Change in weather, society.
Yeah, like all these things like social media and all this stuff is taking up your time that like in the 80s or 90s was not even there to take up your time.
It did.
But
like,
you're probably spending a lot more time on a typewriter, writing some documents.
I probably was riding my bikes and building forts and There you go. That's cool. I was doing that too. All right, last question. It's all related. So looking forward now to the rest of the year. By the end of by New Year's Eve, what project are you most excited about that you will have achieved over the next 6 months or making it through the year?
Making it through the year?
Yeah, can that be just like be?
Do you think you'll get the outdoor kitchen built in that time?
I hate to.
The learning kitchen.
That's the nonprofit's a little slow. Like I said, COVID put a really big damper on that, and then now is once we got started, everybody else is busy, so it's like herding cats. So
yeah, I understand.
Maybe we'll have some finalization by that time.
Yeah.
Maybe some clarity.
Yeah.
Clarity is a big thing, sometimes more than the actual thing. But I see it going forward. I just don't know if it's going to be finished, but I hope so. It's if anybody's interested in seeing it, it's on our urbanhomesteadinstitute.org website. A gentleman did a rendering of that for the Learning Kitchen, and that would be just an amazing addition to the homestead for all the kids that come through. We just had a bunch of kids this
they're coming back. The groups are coming back.
And just again,
and the tours are still on.
Yeah, the reaction of the children and the awe and the wonderment for just coming in LA to see how a family lives with food growing in the front and backyard, and to hug a chicken. It's pretty powerful. And it reminds me that's why we do this, even though it's sometimes hard and stressful and challenging. So.
Well, I'm glad to be a part of the ride. You can take me for the
journey.
I sign up for this crazy ride.
So I hope for those of you who haven't been on the tour, we host them once a month. Our next tour is July 18th. Yes. Yeah. Sanjay sometimes is there showing off his amazing little composter, which we talked about on previous podcast episodes. We've had you a couple times. So you are definitely a big help to the homestead, and your the passion you bring for the composting and other things, and the massive hugel that you built with the accidental interns in what literally was 3 days. Yeah, like 3 actual days.
Oh, it was a work of joy. It was an absolute work of joy. I just hope a flash flood doesn't come and sweep it all away.
No, I say LA can be leveled. The hugel and the cob oven will survive.
They'll survive. Yeah, they'll survive.
But yeah, it's the hugel. Like I said, it's something that it's every day. It's beautiful. You just eyes go toward it, and it's like,
look out in the newsletter. We'll post some photos of it.
We'll post that.
Yeah, so that people can see what it's all about. But I'm the host of the show now, so
you're closing me out.
So I get to close it out. So I learned some more about you today. So that goal got achieved. I hope everyone else did too. I hope I can do this again.
Yes,
yeah,
please.
I love hosting.
I would love you to ask me. I've had a few people, and I want to shout out to them, write me and say they would like to hear more about like the recipes and food. So if you can help me with that, where you just
maybe
question
we could do
me.
like a live cooking thing, like where like it's
I talk and I cook.
But like it's happening at the time, and you hear the sizzles and stuff, and the chops.
And
we can get there.
We can get there. So
cool.
I think that's all good. There's no limit to what we can do. So.
Well, how do you close these podcasts? What do I say?
You can just say, help everybody. Just maybe a little wrap. I like to close with something, and then just offer encouragement and hope everybody's safe and well, and then kind of close out to keep on growing. But. What's your take on that?
I think you just did it for me.
Okay,
I'll leave it at that.
We'll leave it at that. All right. So till next time.
Cheers, everybody.
Come on down to the farm in the city, back to the future, back to the plan. Right down there on the Urban Homestead, loving the life back into the land. Oh, 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 help the garden grow.
We love to hear your feedback or questions. Visit us at urbanhomestead.org to check out what's happening on the homestead. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. And until next time, keep on growing.